Throughout history, some individuals have crossed the line from crime into pure horror. These were not mere killers. They were predators, monsters with minds so dark that even imagining their actions sends shivers down your spine. Their crimes shocked communities, left entire cities paralyzed with fear, and their stories have been etched into history as chilling reminders of human evil. From the fog-laden streets of Victorian London to the frozen forests of Russia, these are tales that grip your imagination and won't let go. This is a story of 10 of history's most terrifying killers and the darkness they left behind. Picture London in the autumn of 1888. The East End cloaked in dense, choking fog, gas lamps flickering with a ghostly glow. Shadows dance on cobblestone streets, and in those shadows, a silent predator roamed. He would become one of the most infamous names in history, Jack the Ripper. Over a few horrifying months, he claimed at least 5 women, prostitutes who walked the streets at night. Their bodies were mutilated in grotesque ways. Throats slashed, abdomens disemboweled, organs removed with surgical precision. The city panicked. People whispered about him in every alley and shadow, terrified that at any moment he could strike again. Even today, his identity remains a mystery, a chilling reminder that evil can lurk unseen behind the human mask. Ted Bundy looked ordinary, charming even, with a smile that could disarm anyone. But that smile hid a horrifying truth. During the 1970s, Bundy abducted, assaulted, and murdered young women across multiple states in the U.S. He would trick his victims, pretending to be injured or an authority figure, earning their trust. Once alone, he revealed the darkness beneath his charm. Bundy's intelligence and manipulation made him even more terrifying. Twice he escaped custody, taunting authorities, showing the world how evil can hide behind charisma. Executed in 1989, Bundy's crime continued to haunt true crime stories and documentaries. Proof of calculated, relentless human cruelty. Russia in the late 20th century lived under a cloud of fear, thanks to Andrei Chikatilo. Known as a butcher of Rostov, he stalked children and women for over a decade, leaving behind a trail of mutilated bodies. Chikatilo appeared normal, blending into society, a man you would never suspect. Yet inside, his desires were monstrous. His killings were gruesome. Dismembered bodies, stolen innocence, communities gripped by terror. Arrested in 1990, he confessed to 56 murders, though the true number may never be known. Chikatilo's story is a grim reminder. Sometimes, the darkest evil hides behind the most ordinary face. Imagine a man who entertains children as a clown, smiling and cheerful, only to lure young men to a secret horror beneath his suburban home. This was John Wayne Gacy. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy killed at least 29 young men, burying them in the crawl space under his house. The duality of his life, charming on the surface, sadistic in private, was terrifying. When the police uncovered the bodies, the world recoiled at the scale of his deception. Gacy showed that evil can hide behind the friendliest of faces, waiting patiently to strike. Los Angeles in the 1980s was a city terrorized by a predator who seemed to appear from the shadows themselves, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Breaking into homes at night, Ramirez murdered, assaulted, and terrorized indiscriminately. Men, women, and children were all targets. He left satanic symbols behind, adding a layer of psychological terror to his crimes. Ramirez's unpredictability made every shadow a threat. His capture in 1985 brought relief, but the fear he instilled lingered. He became a symbol of random, violent terror, a predator who could strike anywhere, anytime. Albert Fish is one of the most disturbing names in criminal history. Active in the early 20th century, he lured children with promises of treats or wake, only to murder and sometimes cannibalize them. Fishy's letters to victims' families described his acts in horrifying detail, revealing a mind steeped in unimaginable depravity. Arrested in 1934 and executed 2 years later, Fish left behind a legacy of horror that fascinates and repulses even today. He reminds us that some human minds can descend into pure, incomprehensible evil. In 1918 and 1919, New Orleans slept in fear. The Axeman attacked Holmes with an axe, killing residents while they slept. Letters to local newspapers taunted the city, promising future strikes. No one knew who he was, and the randomness of his attacks made everyone a potential target. People slept with axes by their beds, fearing the silent intruder. The Axeman's identity remains unknown, a chilling example of evil that never faces justice. Northern England in the late 1970s and early 1980s lived under the shadow of Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper. He targeted women, often sex workers, stalking them at night and leaving behind brutal, bloody scenes. Despite encounters with police, he remained free for years, spreading fear across the region. When finally captured in 1981, it was revealed that he had murdered 13 women and attempted to kill 7 more. Sutcliffe's reign reminds us how obsession, cruelty, and opportunity can merge into years of unchecked horror. During the 1893 World's Fair, Chicago streets were bustling with excitement, unaware that a killer had constructed a labyrinth of horror, H.H. Holmes and his murder castle. Inside this building were secret passages, trapdoors, and soundproof rooms where victims were tortured and murdered. Holmes confessed to 27 murders, though the true number may have been much higher. His architectural genius, twisted toward evil, and lack of remorse make him one of the most methodical and horrifying killers in history. While not a serial killer in the traditional sense, Pablo Escobar's reign of terror in Colombia during the 1980s and early 1990s caused tens of thousands of deaths. Controlling the cocaine trade, Escobar orchestrated bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings. Cities lived in fear under his shadow, with entire neighborhoods paralyzed by his violence. Escobar's story shows that killers are not always individuals. They can be organizations, wielding terror on a massive scale. From the foggy streets of London to the suburbs of Chicago, the forests of Russia, and the cities of Colombia, these killers left a mark on history that chills the soul. They defy morality, logic, and humanity, reminding us of the fragility of safety and the darkness lurking in human minds. The stories of Jack the Ripper, Ted Bundy, Andrei Chikatilo, John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, Albert Fish, the Axeman of New Orleans, Peter Sutcliffe, H.H. Holmes, and Pablo Escobar reveal the terrifying spectrum of human evil, from cunning manipulation and sadistic cruelty to sheer, unstoppable chaos. These are not fantasy monsters. They were real, walking among us, hidden in plain sight, their shadows stretching across generations.